Right, it looks like everyone's in. I'm just going to get my stream, make sure it's set up. Yes, Stingray, I know. I'm just going to make sure my stream is set up, and then get going.
It's your YouTube channel name. Is it Sumo anymore? Oh yeah, yes, that is a thing. I do need to change that actually. I had to change it briefly today, which I will now change back actually. Who cares, right? Who cares?
There we go. Okay. Let's go.
There we go, that's super good. Because I changed my account name ever so briefly for a meeting today. So I felt a bit embarrassed having my online identity on the meeting that I was in. But anyways, where is my notes app? Cannot find my notes app. This is annoying. Right, here we go then. Good evening everybody and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I'm Sumo, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 4-time sprint champion, Ghost. How you doing, pal?
Hello there. We had a great race in Austria last week on Friday, so I'm looking forward to this one. I'm sure Tier 2 will put on a good show. Yeah,
certainly so. So we are, of course, in the Styrian Hills this week as we take a trip around the Red Bull Ring in Austria. 4.318 kilometres and 10 corners, 5 to the left and 5 to the right, make up this GP circuit that is always full of plenty of on-track action. We had an incredible Tier 1 race, as Ghost said, on Friday, so the bar is set high for our Tier 2 drivers this evening. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Yeah, well, I bottled it on the last lap last week. Lost myself a couple of points, which the drivers today will be hoping not to do. LB has left the session, which is not an ideal start to his qualifying, but all eyes are going to be on our newbie this week, Lil Manny Man, which is a great name, in the Aston Martin. So we'll see how he can do today.
Yeah, certainly so. We'll wait and see how the Aston Martin can do. Get our first track action. That's one of the Alpines coming out, I believe. That's Scott Rowley, it looks like. So he'll be the first out on the circuit. But anyway, last time out, we were in Imola, and the reserve driver, Madman Ollie Oliver, put in a dominant performance to take P1. But it was Hartmann who gets the win as far as the championship goes. The fight at the top is close. LB leads the way, but Tindalls is equal on points with the Red Bull. Hartmann sits just 1 point behind, with Krauser a point behind the Americans. Red Bull have a lead of 18 points in the Constructors' Championship, with AlphaTauri attempting to close that gap. With Krauser not here not here from the moment, that could be interesting, especially if LB's got some connection issues as well. Any insights, Ghost?
Yeah, Crozer said that he will hopefully be able to join during qualifying, but no guarantees. So without a Red Bull, that could blow the constructors' Constructors' Championship fight wide open between Red Bull, AlphaTauri, Williams as well are in a fairly okay position as far as I remember. Let me just recheck. So yeah, Williams 3 points behind AlphaTauri, so it could blow everything wide open again, as Jamie F1 has already invalidated before he's even gotten over the line by going over the track at the last corner.
Scott Rowley started his lap. He went a little bit deep into the first corner, if I remember. But we'll let him carry on his lap as we talk to you about our sponsor. Tonight's action, of course, is brought to you once again by Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you love seeing cool livery designs, head over to their socials to catch a glimpse of some truly awesome designs. They have real-life cars, they have esports cars. If you love car liveries, then go and head over to their socials. Give them all the love and support that you show us over here, and make sure that you give them any likes on the posts that you see. But anyway, without further ado, we'll continue on with qualifying, as Scott Rowley is coming through the final couple of corners now. You've got to be very, very committed into these last two to get the maximum out of your lap time. With a 5-place grid penalty for Mr. J-Man. That's not going to help him out in this race at all, but Scott Rowley setting the pace of a 1 minute 7.1. So not the fastest lap. I think it's the Madman who's coming across the line next, but he's on an out lap. So it looks like the Ferrari of
Alex. I've been riding on board with him. It's been
round one winner.
It's been a fairly scrappy lap for the Australian, and it's a 104.9 is the initial pace. I think we'll get into the sort of low 104s for pole today, excluding Madman Ollie Oliver if he goes on softs.
Here comes Tier on the mediums around the final corner. Sorry to cut you off, Ghost. It's going to be a 1 minute 5.5. That's a decent lap on the medium tyre for the Mercedes driver. I think that's JBS Steve. Is it coming across the line? It is. It's 1 minute 4.7. So he takes provisional pole for the moment. I think Hartmann will be next across the line, fresh off his win in Imola. As far as the championship's concerned, not the best lap from the Williams. He'll want to try and go again. That'll be Stingray to cross the line next. Poor lap from the Ferrari. Yeah,
not the best. He'll be hoping to do a lot better than that.
We've got Madman. Weird, his lap time was all over the place. And is it a bug or something?
Well, Muhiti is just invalidated, as has Stingray. I'm not sure what's happened to Madman. Who knows? QB was on a lap. I think he invalidated as well. A lot of invalidations going on, but that was to be expected at Austria. It's very, very difficult to hook a lap together around here. I'm going to ride on board with Captain Nibs. Madman Ollie Oliver goes half a tenth behind JBS Steve. I think there's definitely a bug going on there with Madman. Something's gone wrong. Thank you, Codemasters.
He's just a few tenths behind JBS Steve, but of course he's on with a medium compound tyre. So that is a decent lap from the reserve driver in the Alfa Romeo. Captain Nibs coming through then. One of the new members of APPF1 Tier 2 for this season. He's had a fairly decent showing. I think he crashed out in Imola last week, so he'll be wanting to make amends after not finishing last time around. So we'll wait and see as LB rejoins the session. That's one Red Bull here finally. We'll wait and see if Krauser and the other Red Bull comes along, but here comes Captain Nibs, crosses the line. It's a 1 minute 5.1. There's a decent lap from the Haas driver. Let's see how our newbie can do. Little Manny Man coming across the line. It's looking fairly fast for the Aston Martin. It's a P7 for now, so 1 minute 6.0. Definitely some time to be found again as he comes along. Here comes QB, 19 seconds up. It's 1 minute 6.6. He goes ahead of his teammate for the moment. I think Jamie F1's just starting a lap. Is that Tier out on circuit now? It is, but he's coming into the pit lane. Is that Yusuf? Yeah, he'll be starting his first lap of the session, same as Muhiti, who's coming through the first sector now. Who else we can find? Is that Femi Frostmaster starting the lap? No, it isn't. Because it's Scott Rowley on an out lap as well, so he'll be starting a lap. I'm trying to find anybody who's out on a lap for you guys. That's Muhiti again. Let's see, is that Jamie F1? He is on a lap, so he'll be next to set a time. It looks like coming through the sector 2 now, about just over half the grid of set laps now. So a few drivers struggling with track limits, it seems.
Yeah, definitely. It's very easy to just go a bit too far on this track, especially at turn 1. That is the killer of so many time trial laps around this track. As Jamie F1 goes into P3, good lap from him, only a tenth and a half off his teammate. I'm running on board with Yusuf, who had a decent turn
QB
1.
went for a spin at turn 9. He went a little bit too deep in there, just avoiding that for Yusuf.
Here comes Yusuf. This is a good lap from the McLaren, actually. 4.7 up into P3.
And here comes the other McLaren on an outlap, so no excitement on that side of the garage. Scott Rowley invalidating once more. As at the Stingray on an outlap as well. Let's see, got Muhiti. Muhiti's on a lap. He's invalidated. That is a shame for the Alfa Romeo.
Femi Fussmaster is the man I'm riding on board with. In the Williams, he had a decent showing last week. Felt like he was off the pace, but he still finished, I think, 7th in the end, which is not actually a bad result at all. He's coming to the end of his lap. I'm wondering how far off the pace he's going to be today, because Austria is usually one of the leveler tracks where...
Because Pommy Alex of pole, provisional pole,
1
minute 4.1 from the Australian. I just caught him just as he came across the line. I was also watching some action a bit further back. Little Manny Man may have been blocking one of the Alpha Tauris on a lap. I'm not quite sure if it was or so. I'm sure if it's in the stewards, then I'm sure that will be thoroughly investigated. As Mr. J-Man is coming around the final corner. It's not a good lap from the McLaren. He's going to be way down off the pace. He'll be last of the runners with that lap, so he'll definitely come out and go again. Femi Fussmaster invalidated. LB's finally out on circuit on his out lap, so he'll be he'll probably have time for 2 laps, maybe 3 if he's quick enough. To set out on here. Here comes Muhiti then, second attempt, second go round, coming through the final corners now. It's looking like a decent lap from the Alfa Romeo. Probably not going to challenge the top, but it's going to... Oh, it is. It's a 1 minute 4.6.
Brilliant. What a
Good
lap from
the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he is clearly likes this track, along with Yusuf, who we don't usually see them two in the top 5, so that's great to see them putting in some good times. But I just like to draw attention. What a lap from Pommy Alex! That if he'd done that lap on Friday in Tier 1, he would have been P6 on the grid, which is absolutely nothing to sniff at. So that is a fantastic lap.
It's the season of the Pommy. I'm telling you now.
It is indeed.
Mr. J-Man invalidates once again. It's a slightly better lap from the McLaren, but it's not going to count. So he'll have to go again. It's not going his way. This qualifying session. Speaking of qualifying going their way, well, LB is looking for his qualifying to go his way as he invalidates. Looked like it was at turn 10. He took a little bit too much curb on the entry to the corner. That would have seen him go up ahead of Muhiti, I believe.
Just about, by the way, we've got the Tier 2 Season 2 champion, Bumblebee, in the G-Ghost stream chat. How are you doing, Bumblebee? Good to see you. Hope you enjoy what is sure to be a great race in Austria. And welcome to Mo and... I'm not going to try and pronounce that other name. But welcome to both of you, clearly Lil Manny Man supporters. So hopefully he can do them proud. He's on a lap at the moment in the Aston Martin, but he's done 5 laps.
Oh, there's a spin from Scott Rowley. He's lost it just out of turn 8 there. He's lost his front wing. He's still going for the moment, but that'll be a pit stop.
Certainly will.
QB 6/10 up on his previous best, so this could be a decent time from QB. You won't see him move up any positions, but it'll be a good lap from the Alpine. Let's see if he's gained a little bit more through sector 3 there. As he comes across the line, it's a 1 minute 5.9. No improvement in terms of position, but there he goes. Here comes LB, championship leader. Another scrappy lap from the Red Bull. Not having a good time out there. JBS Steve invalidated. Jamie F1, 3/10 up. This could be a good lap from the AlphaTauri. It is. P2 for the moment. Still, Alex sits pretty on pole position, but he will probably want to come out again and go that little bit faster. I think Yusuf has invalidated his lap time. So the laps coming in thick and fast for the moment. Ferry Thrustmaster sets a purple sector 1. But of course, it's his first run in the thing. That's actually LB. For whatever reason, I was on board with Ferry Thrustmaster, but it was showing me LB. Captain Nibs improves. Stingray goes into P10.
Yeah. Poor lap from Stingray. He's been really struggling to set a lap, so he'll be glad to have something on the board, but he'll not be happy to be all the way down in P10, because he's been on the fringes of the top 5 so far this season in qualifying. LB's coming across the line again, so on those 3-lap-old softs, we'll see what he can do.
Very close to invalidating there. It's so easy in these final 2 corners. This looks like a good lap.
Oh, wow.
It is. It's a 1 minute 3.9. Goes 2/10 quicker than Alex. So LB has thrown down the challenge to the Australian here this evening.
I think LB is getting used to that wheel, Sumo. I think he's duped us into thinking that he's slower with the wheel when he's actually still on his previous pace. So I'm hoping that he's going to be able to make Tier 1 at the very earliest next season on the new game. But Femi Thrustmaster P11, not bad. Who was that improved? I think that was Yusuf up to P8 or JBS Steve?
Stingray. It was
Stingray, yes.
P5. A good lap from the Ferrari driver. That's a much better lap from him. Here into the pit lane again. He's not having the best of seasons. He crashed out in Imola last time out. And I did pin him. I did pin Mercedes to be at the top there. But I think TTV Max 7 and race ban, if I'm not mistaken.
He does, yes. Bumblebee says, despite not racing for 6 months, I'm good. Always enjoying the streams of APP. Good to hear, mate. How is everything in here? It's doing all right. Yeah, we're doing all right here. We're having some great Tier 2 races.
Steve up to P4 with a 1 minute 4.4.
Muhiti improves by 1.5 tenths, but it's not enough to gain him any positions. Look how close it is there between him and Stingray.
Yeah, that's incredibly close.
Femi Thrustmaster coming over the line again. This is a great lap from the Williams. Yeah, much better. Up to P8 he goes. So the man who said he was too slow for Tier 2 up into the top 10 in qualifying in Austria.
Oh, Muhiti's had a spin just out of turn 3. He's lost his front ring. He's going to be out coming into the pits trying to turn the car around, putting it into reverse. It's a hard thing to do in those Formula 1 cars. Easy on the esports games, of course. Just waiting for more laps. Here comes Alex. He's a 10th up on his previous best. You could see him challenge LB for pole position. It's very, very close between them. Just 2 thousandths of a second, 200ths of a second even between the two. So this is a shootout for pole position between the Ferrari and the Red Bull.
This is some incredible performances from Alex. The Australian only 200ths behind LB, and that lap, let me see, that would have put him in Tier 1, I believe, P4 that lap from Alex. So he is well on form, as Yusuf is for some reason on the intermediate tyres in the pits. If he comes out, that's a 15-second penalty, so I hope he doesn't. Muhiti peeling into the pits after his crash.
It's interesting. Jamie F1's trying to set his final lap on the medium tyre. He reckons he can go quicker than he has on the soft, so we'll keep an eye on the AlphaTauri as he comes along. Tiers starting his out lap. This will be the final runs of the session that are starting up now. So we'll keep an eye on all of our drivers as we come along. I think Scott Rowley is going to set a lap time, but he's 6 tenths down coming out of Sector 1. Let's see if it's an improvement coming through. It looks like it might be. No. He's way down on his previous best. It's not going to see him improve. Captain Nibs starts his out lap. The newbie, Lil Manny Man, coming across the line. He's way down on his time as well on the medium tyre there. He's got plenty of time to try and set another lap, so we'll see what he can do. QB coming around the final couple of corners, 5 seconds down. He'll have time to set another lap for sure if he carries on. Mr. J-Man invalidating. He's not having a good qualifying session out there at all. Yusuf has indeed come out on those intermediate tyres. That will be a 15-second time penalty for the McLaren for coming out on those.
Jamie F1, 900ths of a second from improving. So not quite able to start on those mediums.
Here comes tier 2 temps up. This could see him shoot up a little bit here. It does. He goes into P8. Is that Stingray coming across for an out to start his hot lap? It is indeed. We go back down. Scott Rowley, 5 temps down again, so no improvement from him. How about Captain Nibs? No, 2 seconds down. Little Manny Man is... I don't know, it wouldn't show me. It looks like he might be on an improvement, but he's running low on fuel. We'll see as he comes round the final corner now on the medium tyre, looking to set a better time. No, he's down by 600ths of a second.
Tier is on another lap, I think. I'm not sure how much better it is, if at all. But he's coming through sector 2. We're going to come up to the sector line and see if it is any good.
Jamie F1's going to miss out on the line. He is by just a couple of seconds, so that's his qualifying over, I think.
No. There's 40 seconds left. Your timer's bugged again.
Stingray
has binned it. Stingray's binned it at turn 6, I think that is.
Yeah, turn 6. Yeah, Stingray. That is a shame for the Ferrari. He was looking good for a top 5 start this evening.
Oh, huge improvement.
Goes into the top 4. That's better form from the Mercedes driver. That's the tier I've raced against.
Certainly is.
Captain Nibs, 1/10 improvement. It won't see him into the top 10 unless he can find the time in sector 3.
Yeah, absolutely. JBS Steve is also out. That is qualifying now over. So anyone just crossing the line, Captain Nibs couldn't quite make it across the line in time to start another lap. So his qualifying is over. Everyone on track now. JBS Steve has just abandoned his lap. So he's coming into the pits. Is anyone else? Hartman.
J-Man, 1/10 up. You could see him go just ahead of Hartman for the moment.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Sector 3 was where it all went wrong. I think he invalidated, in fact, one of the last corners. I think that is qualifying over for everyone. Tier is not on a lap, so that is our final standings for qualifying. That is our grid.
There we go. It was so close between Pommy Alex and LB for pole position, but 200ths of a second separate the pair. What a great qualifying session out there. I'm not sure if Pommy Alex came out and set a final run. I didn't quite see him out on circuit, and if he was, it definitely wasn't an improvement to challenge LB. LB did try and improve on his previous lap time, but he was down by a few hundredths of a second.
Very, very close times, as Muhiti says in Discord. You can see, 2/10 between 3rd place and 9th place. It's very, very close out there. As that is the end of qualifying, and I'll let you read out the results.
Yes, LB then takes pole positions by 200ths of a second from Pommy Alex, your round 1 race winner, with Jamie F1 and Tier lining up on the 2nd row of the grid. JBS Steve, Madman Ollie Oliver, who's had a very under-the-radar qualifying session after setting just 1 lap. Stingray, Muhiti, Femi Thrustmaster and Yusuf round off the top 10, with Captain Nibs, ISRL Hartman, Mr. J-Man, Scott Rowley, Little Manny Man and QB rounding off the drivers outside of the top 10. An interesting race ahead of us then. It'll be it'll be Red Bull versus Ferrari coming into turn 1. It's a short run at turn 1 and not the best overtaking opportunity on the grid, but it's certainly possible if you get a good run on the guy ahead of you.
Absolutely. I think the problem with this track is it creates a lot of DRS trains, which can be very difficult to make any headway in. But as we saw on Friday, if everyone is clean, it produces some incredible racing. So we'll be hoping for the same today. I'm looking forward to seeing what tyres everyone outside the top 10 is going to start this race on.
Yeah, certainly so. You could do some interesting stuff. I don't think the hard tyres are really worth it around this circuit. It's definitely either mediums or softs if you're going to start on it, but if you want to take a gamble, the drivers are more than welcome to do so. We go over to the grid in just a second. There we go. We'll get all of our bits up for you. We'll get the tyres up. So Captain Nibs, QBV and Mr. J-Man opting for the medium tyre, with ISRL Hartman, Scott Rowley and Little Manny Man all starting on the soft tyres. And obviously Madman Ollie Oliver joins the medium runners as he set his one and only qualifying time on those mediums.
Yeah, I think I don't think starting on the mediums is the best strategy, to be honest with you, Simo. I think you don't have the advantage on the softs towards the end that you think you're going to have. And in the end it balances out very quickly, and all that you've done is sacrificed an undercut to all the soft runners with the pit stops. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it works out for them, but initial thoughts are that it's not the best thing to do.
Well, I had right on the rear of LB's Red Bull there, just watching the suspension go up and down as he went left and right to warm up those tyres. That was a very, very cool shot. As much as we like to slate this game for being buggy and doing weird stuff, it does look amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like, as close to real life as possible. I remember at my old job, I showed some footage of a race that I did as Stingray gets disqualified from the session to one of my work colleagues, and he thought it was real F1 for a moment. Until I said to him it wasn't, as Madman has also been disqualified. Some cold tyres for those two. It's a short lap round here, so they won't be too cold, but a little bit of contact under formation.
Well, we all know what Madman and Stingray are like, so if I were to guess, it was possibly a prank that one of them played on the other one to get both of them disqualified from the session. I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, we're about to get lined up on the grid. I'm going to ride on board with Tier for the start, but Sumo's View is the one to watch as the lights go out.
Yeah, here we go then, we're lining up on the grid. We're just waiting for Mr. J-Man to take his spot on the grid so we can get this race well and truly underway. The green flags are being waved. We're waiting for those lights. Here we go then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix. And away they go. LB gets a great start. The AlphaTauri and Jamie F1 a good start as well. The AlphaTauri look at the challenge. Pommy Alex in the Ferrari as Tier goes right up the inside and off the circuit, and he gives that place back as he should. Jamie F1 forced off the circuit for the moment, but he gets ahead of the Ferrari, who's coming right back at him up into turn 3 now as we go into this heavy braking zone. Pommy Alex down the inside of the AlphaTauri.
Oh, no.
And there's contact.
Pommy Alex down to P6. He's just about managed to recover. It's not a full spin, so he's still very much in this race. But there's position changes going on all over the grid. Lil Manny Man up to P12 already, getting past Stingray into turn 4. You've got Femi Thrustmaster getting past as well. Yeah, Scott Lawley in P9 at the moment. He's doing well, but we've seen him in Austria before as he nearly goes for a spin there, as Madman as well is down to P10. Terrible start for the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he's dropped down 4 positions. The biggest winner on lap 1, Muhiti, he's well up there. Look, he's 4 places up. What a great start from the Alfa Romeo. Really enjoying this track. He didn't have the best season last season, but he seems to be going quite well here at Austria. There's the Ferrari of Stingray looking to challenge the Aston Martin of Little Manny Man.
I think
he's off here.
I think he's only got himself to blame for that one. Brake far too late. Scott Rowley was already turning. Captain Nibs side by side with QB as they come up to turn 3. I think he's going to make that move, but QB's not going to make it too easy. We've got Scott Rowley round as well. So that's 3 spins so far already, but no one out of the race. I think Mr. J-Man might have had a spin as well. He's chasing after Stingray currently, but look at those gaps. Less than a second between every car from 1st all the way down to 10th.
Yeah, certainly. I think there's a few glitches going on, a few yellow flags that keep popping out. Yeah, you can see sectors 1 and 2, yellow flags keep coming out when there's no incidents on the track. But 11 of the drivers in this train now, all the way from 1st down to 11th, as Jamie F1 and JBS Steve sit in P2 and 3. They've had a great start. Pommy Alex mugged off the start there after a little bit of contact with the Alfa Romeo, as DRS is now enabled. So all aboard the LB train then, as the DRS is now activated, and it looks like we might get a repeat of Tier 1. As Jamie F1 all over the back of the Red Bull, no way through from at the moment. He wasn't close enough, but he might be on this next run. We said that LB is getting used to this wheel, but I think his qualifying pace outmatches his race pace at the moment as Jamie F1 looks to go around the outside of turn 4. He sticks it all the way. They're going to continue to go side by side through turn 5, but they back off. Jamie backs off from the Red Bull as Pommy Alex is fending off the McLaren of Yusuf, who's going quite well here, coming through sector 2. Stingray and Scott Rowley. Scott Rowley's off the circuit.
Whoa.
At turn 4, he's in the gravel.
Hartman just made up 2 spots at turn 6. I think Lil Manny Man's got some damage as QB gets past him as well. I'm not sure what happened there. Madman up to P7. I think Madman is the one that's bugging out because he keeps dropping from last and then back to 7th again. It's very odd.
Yeah, Manny Man damage. He's lost a left end plate and he's coming into the pits.
That's a shame for the newcomer. I didn't see what happened, so I hope
comes Tier all over the back of Muhiti. Sorry to cut you off, as there's a change for the lead as well. Jamie F1 went round the outside of the Red Bull of LB and takes the lead of this race as Tier takes 4th place away from Muhiti. But Tier got a time penalty for cutting the corner on lap 1.
Yeah, he did. So he's not in the best spot. Pommy Alex is still on the back of this train in P6 at the moment, so he's not doing badly at all as Muhiti and Tier go side by side again. Madman somehow sets the fastest lap while he's in the middle of the track, which is very odd. Muhiti goes very deep and lets through his teammate and Pommy Alex at the same time. He might have damage as well. He does. It's his front left end plate. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think it's some bugs caused by Madman. But it's...
Ooh,
yeah, it's Femi Thrustmaster. Yeah, I saw that.
Very close indeed from the Williams there. LB all over the back of Jamie F1. AlphaTauri looking to get some good points over the Red Bulls, as there's only one Red Bull car here. It's AlphaTauri versus Red Bull at the front for the moment, as Tier is too far back to join in, as LB looks for a gap, doesn't quite find it as Jamie covers him off. JBS Steve wants to get ahead of that Red Bull as well. His teammate's going to try and back him into that AlphaTauri to try and take the place, as LB goes on the attack again down the inside. Jamie forced to stick on the outside, and I think he might have to run. He doesn't. They go side by side through turn 5. They're going to go side by side through turn 6 now. It's a very risky spot, but it can be done. That's great racing between the pair of them. They're going to go side by side through 7 and 8 now. LB around the outside. It becomes the inside for the next corner, and I think LB gets it. That was some great racing.
Great stuff there between those two. Yet again, it was the same between the two of them last week as well in Imola. We've got more yellow flag shenanigans going on. I don't know what is going on with Madman Ollie Oliver's car. But yeah, that is not good at all, especially from a reserve. If he's affecting the results, that's not great. But we've got LB and Jamie are going to go side by side again, I think. Here comes the DRS for the AlphaTauri. Down the inside he goes. He's making the move. Brakes very late. LB goes for the switchback, but Jamie is going to have the DRS again. And I don't think there's going to be a way back for LB. But is there actually? He's going to go down the inside. Is he going to try a late braking move? Yes, he is. Sort of. He sort of half commits to it. But Jamie leaves him room. And Jamie will continue to lead this race, I believe.
Mr. J-Man and Scott Rowley having a little battle there as they run down to turn 4. I think the Red McLaren has got this, but the Alpine is still there. Look, sits on the outside, then goes to the inside, brakes very late, makes contact. I think that's Scott Rowley's fault there for that contact, but it wasn't too major between the two as J-Man gets up another place.
Pommy Alex down the inside of JBS Steve at the penultimate corner. I think there's damage to the AlphaTauri. Yeah, there is. JBS Steve shipping positions now. So I'm not sure what's happened to him either. There's so many odd instances of damage. Unless he doesn't have damage at all, it's difficult to tell at the moment. But clearly something very wrong with that Alfa Romeo of Madman Ollie Oliver.
Yeah, definitely. He's glitching all over the place. He says he's in last, but I think he's actually in this fight here as he spins and hits the wall. There's something really strange going on.
He's left the session.
Nice to see he's left the session now. Probably for the best, if that's going to be affecting the race result. Thrustmaster up ahead of Yusuf. These guys having a good fight here in the top 10. Femi Thrustmaster joined us last week, I believe.
He did.
As Kraus has joined, but is way too late. We're 7 laps into the session now. So no help for LB Racing as Pommy Alex has closed onto the back of the fight for P1. So it's a 5-horse race here at the moment, but Tier has that time penalty, which may affect him toward the end of the race.
Yep, Pommy Alex back in it after that spin on lap 1, or sort of half spin. And he's looking to get back in this fight. We saw this on Friday as well. A lot of cars fighting for P1 as Tier gets himself another 3-second time penalty, which is really going to cost him. It's, I'm afraid to say, classic Tier as LB...
Ibs gone for a spin at turn 1 there. I think he's lost his wing. That's a shame for the Red Bull. For the Haas even. I can't quite see it. I think, yeah, no wing for the Haas. That's an unplanned pit stop and a ruined race for the Haas.
Huge shame for him, but Femi, Thrustmaster and Yusuf are side by side again into turn 4. Space left, very good racing between these two guys. And Femi gets himself into P6, but look at the ERS difference between the two cars as Femi goes deep at turn 6. It's going to be very close. They're side by side through turn 7. This can't go well, surely. Yusuf still going to have the outside line as they come through 7. Yusuf still, Femi, Thrustmaster side by side as they come into the penultimate corner. Surely not. Yusuf backs out finally. But brilliant racing between these two as Tier comes into the pits and gets himself another penalty just to add to his woes today.
It's a shame for the Mercedes driver. It's just going bad to worse. JBS Steve. I think, I'm not sure exactly what's happening. He may have olive damage, but LB challenging for the lead as he goes up the inside of turn 3, gets the move done, and I think he'll have DRS once again. No, he won't. He's giving it to the AlphaTauri just behind, who may come back at him, and it's closing and closing and closing on that Red Bull, but I don't think he's close enough to make the move, so sticks behind for now as they go through single file through turn 4 into the next sector.
Yusuf went very, very deep into turn 3, and he's hit the back of Hartmann as well as they come into turn 4. Hartmann taking full advantage, and I think the Williams is going to get himself into P5 here. He's making the move on his teammates. Side by side they go. Brilliant stuff between the two of them as Yusuf tries to get involved round the outside of Femi. It's the same again as the last lap. The two of them, Hartmann is in front of them now, but Femi has backed out in the end. He's not having that again, and he's just going to stick behind the McLaren for now, but these two still going well at it.
That was a brilliant move from Hartmann. I've done that move before in the sprints. I think it was way back at the very early seasons. It was a fantastic move then, and Hartmann has just shown it's a fantastic move now.
Yusuf is going to go again, Jamie.
Down the inside, there he goes. It's the change for the lead again. I'm not sure how many we've had, but it's a great battle we've got brewing here for the win of this race between Jamie F1 and the AlphaTauri the Red Bull of LB, who goes straight down the inside. I'm not sure what's happened further back. I think that's Yusuf spinning out at turn 3. LB's taken the lead at turn 4. We'll go back. Yusuf looks like he's got damage. It's a shame for him. He has had a great race up until this point. Only a safety car will bring him back in it now.
He definitely does have damage, and it's difficult to tell. I don't know if Femi Thrustmaster got damage as well. Basically, the McLaren got it all wrong out of turn 3. Femi was just behind him, so had no chance to react, and hit the side of the McLaren as he was spinning. I don't know if Femi has damage. He's carrying on, so hopefully his car is okay, because he is driving really well today.
Yeah, certainly. Look at this, QB. P8 in the top, well in the top 10 for the Alpine driver. This is a great drive from him. He's having a great day today.
LB under pressure from Pommy Alex. He's made a mistake out of turn 1. Sorry to interrupt you, Sumo. Pommy Alex round the outside goes to Ferrari. LB down to P3, and Jamie F1 takes the lead of the race. The Ferrari is going to have the DRS coming up to turn 4. I don't think LB is going to be able to do anything. No, he's not. So these top 3 changing positions once again, but Pommy Alex is back in it as Tier gets his way past QB further back, who I think had made a mistake out of turn 1.
I'm not sure what the damage is like on JBS Steve's car. I think it's actually, I don't think he actually has damage. It might just be we might have to wait for the pit stops to
LB time penalty. Sorry to
time
interrupt.
Penalty for LB. He must have got that just out of turn 8 there. Very easy to do as he run quite wide onto that inside curb of the 8th corner on this circuit. That is a shame for LB. That's going to affect our final results, but this track is notorious for track limits. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of time for the other drivers to get one as Tier goes right up the inside of the Ferrari of Stingray. That was a great move A very opportunistic send from the Mercedes. What a move.
Pommy Alex is right behind Jamie F1. He's looking to make a move for the lead of this race, the Ferrari. He looked down and out after that half spin in lap 1, but he managed to save it, and he's back in the battle for the lead now. But LB is not going to let him have it all his own way. The Red Bull trying to make some moves, put some pressure on the top two, because that penalty is going to cost him if he doesn't.
Yeah, certainly. So these three having a great fight. They're more or less nose to tail all the way through this circuit. It's great to see. There's another battle brewing a bit further back for P10. The final spot in the top 10 between Muhiti, Mr. J-Man and Scott Rowley. We're keeping our eyes on that as that develops. No sight of a safety car just yet, as you see the ghosted car of Madman, who has indeed left the session.
Yeah,
Pommy Alex, here he goes. There he goes into turn 1. That's a good move. It's very risky to do. It's very close between the two of them, but he's managed to pull it off. They've all got DRS coming up to turn 3, so I don't think there'll be any position changes there, as they were fairly equal in the detection zone, it seems. But Jamie F1 has been getting better exits out of turn 3, and look, he gets a better one than Pommy Alex there. LB gets a better one than Jamie F1, so they're all going to chase each other down all the way to turn 4. I think
here comes
there
Jamie.
goes Jamie. There he goes up the inside. Pommy defends to the outside. Maybe a little bit of contact. No, there wasn't. But Pommy Alex defending well. They're going to go side by side all the way down to the run to turn 6. This is the second, maybe third time we've seen this evening. A little bit of contact between the two, but Jamie backs out of that move.
Wow, wow, wow. Fantastic racing between these three so far. Mr. J-Man and Scott Rowley trading positions as well. The Alpine, is he going to go for a classic massive send as LB gets past Jamie further up? And yes, Scott Rowley does go for a ridiculous send up the inside of Mr. J-Man. He's only got himself to blame for that one, as Jamie into the pits. So he's going for the undercut. Is it going to work for him? As Femi gets himself a time penalty and Tier gets himself another one, as Jamie is just about to exit the pits.
Williams having a good race this evening, both of them in the top 5 for the moment. Hartmann having a great run. He had an amazing race in Imola last week to claim his, well, technically first win of the championship, but also technically not, as LB goes up the inside of Pommy Alex for the lead of this race at turn 4, gets the job done. Pommy Alex all over the back of the Red Bull. It doesn't get the best exit, it seems, but he's going to keep that position for now as they come round into sector 3.
Certainly is, but Pommy Alex is going to be very aware of that time penalty, and he's just going to be thinking, don't get warnings, don't go off track.
Just don't retire.
Oh no! He's binned it at turn 7, the AlphaTauri. That's a safety car. And it's just big. After
Pommy got in.
Pommy got in the pits, but I don't know. Is LB going to report that? He might have crossed the line. I'm not sure. Yeah, we're going to see almost everyone pit, I think, other than the guys who've already pitted. It's terrible news for Jamie F1, Mr. J-Man with a drive-through, yeah. But Jamie F1 is going to be very annoyed by that. I don't think he's actually going to lose too much, though. No, he's not. So he's still just about there in front of Hartmann. Yeah, he is. He's P3 comfortably, so he hasn't lost anything at the AlphaTauri, but LB is going to lose a huge amount of time here. Actually, he might be fine, because the safety car, he's not caught up to the safety car. Yeah, so he might be fine here, just about. But yeah, I don't know if that's going to be reportable for Pommy Alex, because it did seem like a late move. I didn't actually see it, but it did seem like a late dive into the pits. Yusuf gets himself a time penalty under the safety car. It looks like almost everyone into the pits, as I said. Captain Nibs has stayed out on the hard tyres, as you would. A few drivers opting for the hards, not confident they can get the mediums to the end. I do think the mediums will go from here, but some drivers are not confident of that. Clearly, Mr. J-Man onto the softs.
Yeah, I think he started on the mediums, so it was either hards or softs. I'd have gone with hards at this point. Softs won't make it to the end, of course. That's going to make his race a 2-stop at the most. I think Pommy, this could be close actually between the Red Bull and the Ferrari. We'll see. The Ferrari
LB's going to be ahead.
Just coming around turn 1. I think LB's just got him. He does, yeah, only just though. as that Ferrari was very close behind. So they will now all line up behind the safety car as we neutralise this race for the time being. Let's have a look at the chat. Softs will, but they'll be dead. Yeah, I think 2-stop will be the safest. Hello, One Wing. It's nice to have you here. Cheering on Hartman, of course, who he's a big winner in this safety car, actually. Coming onto some fresh medium tyres.
Yeah.
Staying in P4. That's a good job for Hartman. So he might see himself in this fight with the top 3 at the moment. But that's a shame for Jamie F1 as they won't be able to maximise their points over Red Bull this evening. Now that they're only one AlphaTauri in the race.
Yeah, JBS Steve just looked like he binned it. There were no other cars around him, so I mean, no blame on him. That would make me a hypocrite because I have done that plenty of times at turn 7.
You took me out of that corner once, I think.
I did, yeah. Side by side with AP, just where Hartman's coming up to now, and got a wheel on the curb, and I was gone, and Sumo was unfortunately right behind. But yeah, and I also binned it last season in Tier 1 at turn 8.
I think I was commentating that race, actually.
I think you were, yeah, you were. So, yeah, I'm glad that didn't happen last week, but yeah. Hartman, as you say, back in this fight, Femi Fussmaster is going to be under huge pressure from the better tyres behind him after going on to the hards. But he is still doing very well. Let's have a quick look at the penalty situation. So we've got LB on 3, Stingray, QB, Muhiti, and Lil Manny Man all on 3. 6 seconds for Captain Nibs, 9 seconds for Scott Rowley, Yusuf, and Tier, of course. Femi Frostmaster got himself a 5-second pit lane speeding penalty, so that's going to cost him potentially. He's on 8 seconds, and of course Mr. J-Man with a drive-through.
Yeah, it's a shame for the Ferrari driver. I feel like we'll be getting back underway at the end of this lap. Stingray way back up in this fight after an abysmal start to the race. Same with Tier. I mean, the race is neutralised at the moment, which gives everybody an equal chance of getting back in, except, of course, if you're a lapped car or a car that has left the session, then you are kind of screwed at this very stage. But Hartman very eager to go. Look at him weaving very aggressively on the back of that AlphaTauri as the safety car does come in as I predicted it would. A sumo rant, I don't think we got time. The track's too short. Maybe I could rant about the fact that there's no time for a sumo rant. That would be very very fitting for this situation. But I don't know, I've not really got any topics to rant about today. A pretty decent mood. Good day at work. A good race so far. And so LB then asks, effective safety car as we come through. It's got until the safety car dives into the pit lane and up to the line. In the safety car goes. So LB has got from here to the line to start this race back up. If you look at to catch his rivals out, but he's got that 3-second penalty though, and that's going to be weighing on his mind the whole time. He's going to want to try and make Pommy Alex and the drivers behind him make some mistakes, but
he's gone.
3 drivers gone. It's going to be tough. LB then goes, catches Pommy Alex out a little bit. He's gaining a little bit of time over him. JBF1 and Hartman get a good restart.
Out.
That's Stingray way down the order. A poor restart from the Ferrari, which is going to see him drop way down the order. Muhiti looking very racy. Tier went right round the outside of QBVI as Muhiti gets through as well. That's the 2 of them up a place. LB's already opened up that gap to Pommy Alex, but it's coming down again now. No changes for the lead at the moment, but LB getting a good restart on all accounts.
There's Stingray and Yusuf side by side up to turn 4. They were side by side into turn 3 as well, but Stingray winning
Nibs
out
and
there.
Lil Manny side by side as well. The newbie challenging the Haas car. It's not quite going to work. They're going to go side by side into the next set of corners. There they go through 5. Now down into 6. Good racing between the pair of them as Captain Nibs wins out, and in comes Mr. J-Man to get involved in this action as well. He's on the soft tyre, way more grip over than Hans. He gets on the curb, Yusuf's gone. He's not got any damage, it seems, for the moment, but that's a shame for the McLaren driver who was having a good race especially after that safety car. Fastest lap's coming in from everybody at the moment. LB sets the fastest lap of the race, and he's 1.4 seconds off Tommy Alex, as both Hartman and Jamie F1 have now got 3-second time penalties. So the only driver left in this race without one is Tommy Alex.
Of course it is. Captain Nibs and Little Manny Man with a great little battle there. Mr. J-Man getting involved. He really shouldn't be getting involved because he has a drive-through to take, but yeah, he's going to be after QB now, who's struggling on those hard tyres. Femi Thrustmaster, by the way, is doing really well. I thought he'd be absolutely eaten up as soon as the restart came on with those hard tyres, but he is driving fantastically today. As QB now under pressure from the McLaren, who I think is going to make a move into turn 7 maybe. If QB gets a poor exit, that's exactly what's going to happen, but J-Man stays behind this time. Maybe this time he's thinking, okay, I've got to drive through. I'm not going to be able to challenge anyway. He hasn't headed into the pits. No, he is heading in, so there we go. DRS now enabled.
Yes. Enabled, and the gaps are opening up. Pommy's opened up the gap to Jamie a little bit, but he'll still get DRS, it seems. But the most important one's LB. He's got to continue to open up that gap if he wants any chance of winning this race at all. And he's got that 3-second penalty, which is going to hamper him. As Yusuf gets past Madman, who will be going a lot slower. As both McLarens are now toward the back. It's a shame. They were looking for a good race this evening. They didn't quite find it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Tia getting past Femi, just as I said he was having a good race. The Mercedes gets past, and I think he's going to be under pressure from Muhiti fairly quickly, but it's still really good from the Cameroonian so far. He's still up in P6 and challenging very well indeed, as Lil Manny Man is on the back of QB and could make a move pretty soon.
Yeah, he's looking racy as the Aston Martin, who's just sat in the top 10. He's looking for P9. He might just find it. Muhiti, another 3-second time penalty. Track Limits Grand Prix is well and truly underway now, with Tommy Alex winning out. He's sort of teetering with LB. They're dropping and they're opening that gap between one another at the moment, and Tommy Alex got it all to do. He's got 2 cars to fend off. LB doesn't have to worry too much.
Absolutely fantastic move from Muhiti down the inside of Femi into turn 1. It was a brilliant move, and he made it stick very well indeed, as Scott Rowley nearly goes into the back of his teammate as they approach turn 1. He's going to have him on the approach to turn 4 now as QB drops to P12, and Captain Nibs up into the top 10.
Yeah, certainly so. Waiting. The safety car has dulled the action at the lead for the moment. There's a spin. That's Femi Thrust. No, it's Hartman.
Oh
Hartman.
no!
That is travesty for the Williams driver. I don't think he's got any damage, but that spin has cost him that spot he was in P4. He must have got on the curb at turn 8 and it's spat him back out. It's not a nice curb around this circuit. I remember you used to be able to ride on it a little bit last year, but this year it is lethal.
He's going to be absolutely gutted with that. He was well on track for a podium today as Muhiti and Tia
side by side. Muhiti, great move from the Alfa Romeo, getting ahead of the Mercedes, who almost goes into the back of Muhiti there. Just misses out as they turn in for the corner. That was very close.
Femi Thrustmaster is putting it back on Stingray. Stingray got him into turn 1, but he has no ERS to defend with, and the Williams back into P6. Great stuff from everyone racing in those top positions. Hartman is going to be trying to catch back up. It's 5 seconds. It's still plenty of time left in this race, but he's going to be very annoyed that that he's dropped it there.
Yeah, he certainly will. Another little battle going on for P9 as Captain Nibs and Scott Rowley are chasing after Little Manny Man in the Aston Martin, who's having a good showing this evening. He does have only 3 seconds of time penalties, whereas a lot of other drivers have multiple. Femi with 8, Tier 9, 12 for Yusuf.
Stingray down the inside, sorry, at turn 1 for Femi Thrustmaster. He's made the move stick. Great stuff from the Ferrari. Femi, to be fair to him, didn't fight back too
there goes
hard.
Jamie F1, looks to go up the inside of the Ferrari, gets very close, but not quite close enough, and gets a poor exit as Tommy Alex took the less compromised line.
Here comes Femi again. He's going to have the better run up to turn 4. Williams going side by side with the Ferrari yet again. Stingray losing out up to turn 4, and no way back for the Ferrari. Down to P7 he goes, but I think this battle will go on, much to the delight of Hartmann, who is quickly gaining. That's 5/10 gained on the previous lap.
Yeah, Femi helping out his teammate there just by battling with the Ferrari, bringing him back into this race. It would slow him down their progress to catch Tier, who himself is looking to stay on the back of Muhiti and try and maybe get past the Alfa Romeo for now. That gap's opened up a lot more. LB getting very comfortable now, but as long as Tommy Alex stays within 3 seconds of the Red Bull ahead of him, then it's all tickety-boo.
Stingray down the inside yet again at turn 1 of Femi Thrustmaster. But if he gets a poor exit out of 3 again, it's going to be deja vu. Lil Manny Man gets himself another penalty further back. But what's going to happen here? Hartmann is caught another 5/10. Stingray gets another poor exit, and it's going to be deja vu. Like I said, DRS for the Williams. He's back past Stingray, who just cannot keep that position for more than one corner.
Yeah, certainly so. Tier closer to the back of Muhiti now. He's looking for a way through. Got a lot more ERS than the Alfa Romeo at the minute. And I think he's just saving that ERS, trying to use it as strategically as possible. That's just what Femi and Stingray want to do, as there's a change of position and further back. I think it's...
Lil Manny Man getting past Captain Nibs, those riding aboard. Good battle. They were side by side throughout that second sector, and 2 time penalties in quick succession. So I mean, don't take this order that's on the screen for granted. It's all going to change as soon as they cross the line.
Yeah, it certainly will. There's a McLaren off at turn 8 as Yusuf. He's managed to keep it out of the wall, I think. But
Jamie F1 down the inside of Pommy Alex. Sorry to interrupt you, Sumo, right at the top. 3
and Tier past Muhiti as well.
Yeah, turn 3 for the Alpha Tauri, and Pommy Alex has got no way back, so that's going to compromise him for his bid to win this race, because that 3 seconds for LB is just getting more and more out of sight. Muhiti and Tier are going to go side by side through the second sector now. Muhiti going to have the inside for turn 5, but he's going to lose out there. He's going to back out. Not going to dare doing a Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, or Sergio Perez, I think it was actually, through that corner.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't quite remember. It's a while back.
Yeah.
Tommy Alex all over the back though. He's not dropped back too much, but the battling is gonna be what costs him, as LB is able to just sit comfortably in the lead of this race and run away with it. We've only got 10 laps left, so the dying stages of this race, we shouldn't be expecting any more pit stops unless we get a late safety car. Of course, as Tommy Alex goes round the outside of the AlphaTauri, gets the job done before the braking zone, and he goes very wide into the corner, which will compromise him as Jamie F1 comes back with him as the DRS, and it's a plain sailing move as Tommy Alex makes that little mistake, and the win is getting further and further away from the Australian.
Absolutely is. This is really costing him. Jamie F1 just not letting Pommy Alex go.
Oh, Femi Fussmaster all the way onto the grass to try and get past Stingray. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them, but Stingray keeps that place.
They're fighting really hard, these two. They've been fighting for a long time, and look at this. Hartmann now within 2.5 seconds of those two drivers, so the American definitely looking to get himself back in this. He's a championship contender this season, so he needs to salvage as many points as he can. Muhiti still on the back of Tier, so Tier has not let go either. But that gap is currently about 3 seconds between LB and Pommy Alex, and if he gets exits like that out of turn 1, it's not going to help his cause. Captain Nibs gets himself another time penalty. Muhiti, I think, is going to make a move on Tier pretty soon, but we've got to watch the Ferrari as he goes right around the outside of the AlphaTauri, nearly spins it on the exit, just about saves it, but this is really costing the Australian.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's not going as well as he would have wanted, especially now that Jamie F1 has made that move. But it will still be P2 for the Australian at the very least.
Certainly will, but he's going to want that win because, of course, he dropped so many points from not being able to make it to Imola, unfortunately. So he needs to salvage those points, and losing out on even 1 point is could make all the difference come the final standings. He does need a DNF from LB to be able to get back in this championship, but yeah, he needs to put some pressure on. Femi Thrustmaster putting pressure on, still on the back of Stingray, and Hartmann now is within 1.7 seconds. So the American looking to get himself into the top 6 before the end of this race. 9 laps to go.
Yeah, certainly. Muhiti all over the back of Tier once more, looking for a way through if he can find it. And he does. Tier goes quite deep into the corner. Muhiti gets a much better exit and gets that position. Great race, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Femi Thrustmaster gets back past Stingray up to turn 4 yet again. How many times have I said that today? The Williams back into P6. Hartmann must have made a mistake because he's now 2.2 seconds down. Captain Nibs and Lil Mannyman still having a battle further back. Pommy Alex within 0.3 of Jamie, but it's just not enough. 3.2, 3.34 is the gap between him and LB.
Oh, I realised I made a very major error in my opening speech. It's not Tinos. Tinos is in Tier 1. It's JBS Steve who's equal on points with LB. As Pommy Alex goes down the inside of the AlphaTauri and gets that move done, finally gets back past, but he'll have to defend again. It looks like Jamie F1 got a much better exit than the Ferrari and might challenge down into turn 4. Not quite. He's not going to be close enough on this occasion, as Pommy Alex keeps that place for now, but he's still within reach of LB, but only by 0.4 of a second, and that is slowly closing up.
This is going to be so close come the end of the race. Scott Rowley gets himself another penalty further back. Pommy Alex, by the way, only has 1 warning, so he's not under pressure in terms of having 2 warnings and needing to keep it safe. As Yusuf has gone, I think that might be on the exit of turn 1. It is. Is that a safety car, I wonder? There's a yellow flag.
It's got to be.
Nothing. There's nothing, Sumo. I can't believe it.
Not a safety car. Wow. That should have been a safety car, 100%.
It should have been.
That car's in a dangerous, dangerous spot.
That's crazy. Not even a VSC. Nothing at all.
No,
Stingray. He's made the same move again, but I fear it's going to be deja vu once again for the Ferrari. Watch Femi make the move into turn 4. Mark my words, Sumo.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely do it. Yeah, Lifebound saying it's realistic. Of course, Michael Massey is the race director at the moment, so no safety car for that. It's a bit like in Monaco, as Femi Thrustmaster does make that move again. There's contact.
Just about. Stingray managed to keep it on the track. There was a bit of needless contact there. I'm not quite sure what happened. Oh my word!
What happened there?
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea what's just happened there. Alright then. Okie dokie. Let's move on like that never happened. Alright. So Lil Mannyman and Captain Nibs still quite near each other. Mr. J-Man has gotten past... Oh, that was just because of Stingray's DNF. Femi Thrustmaster now 2.8 seconds behind Hartmann, who is up into P6, but Femi's still going well. He has no damage, thankfully, to his car. Thank goodness for that. Lil Mannyman trying to catch up as well. All those guys on hard tyres, but it looks like the closest gaps are between Tier and Muhiti and Jamie and Pommy Alex at the moment.
Yeah, we're keeping on those gaps. Pommy Alex has now fallen outside of the 3 seconds, only just though. He's got 5 laps to try and make up that time. He's lost on LB, which I'm not sure is going to happen for the Australian, but you never know. If he sets down some decent laps, it might just go well for him. But I think they're equal on tyre life, I believe. No, they're not. Pommy Alex 1 lap older tyres, so with Jamie F1 in the hunt as well, it's not looking good.
It certainly isn't. Tier still right behind Muhiti. Let me have a quick look at the penalties again. Tier on 12 seconds, so he's not really in this, but still a good on-track battle with Muhiti that he's having. Scott Rowley gets himself another time penalty. Meanwhile, he's on 21 seconds further back. Muhiti goes deep. Captain Nibs gets himself another one as well. He's on 15. So time penalties all over the shop as Tier makes the move on Muhiti, but of course it's only for track position. Muhiti has 9 seconds, so he does have that penalty advantage at the moment. I'm going to keep the penalties on screen, actually, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now for the rest of this. Is Tommy Alex's chance of victory is slipping even further away than it was. He didn't break. It did seem like that, life belt, and the stewards will be looking at that, and it may even be an admin situation as well.
Yes, I think so. Muhiti just behind Tier. This battle's still raging. Jamie F1 trying to get himself into P2 on track as well, but Pommy Alex still standing strong without a penalty, although LB, as you say, has extended that gap now, and I think the Red Bull is looking for another win. Jamie F1 still just behind. Mr. J-Man with another penalty further behind. Jamie looks for a little move there, but not able to make it. Just over 3 laps to go.
Yeah, certainly the race has certainly died down a lot. It's not quite as action-packed as Tier 1, but we've definitely had our fair share of on-track battles, and we've been watching Pommy Alex battle away. He's going to get that podium, it looks like. We've been watching Muhiti and Tier, who have had some great races this evening. And Muhiti, I think this might be one of his highest finishing positions.
Absolutely, I think his highest position before was when he finished 6th in China earlier this season. So currently, I believe this is his highest ever position, but don't quote me on that. It might not be true. Jamie F1 down the inside of Pommy Alex. He's not given up to get this on track. Yellow flags. That's another McLaren who's had a spin. It's Mr. J-Man in Sector 2, and he's going to lose out to QB there. There we go, down to P12 he goes. Pommy Alex is going to fight back on the AlphaTauri, but not able to make a move. He knows he's out of contention for the race win now. He just needs to stick behind Jamie and secure P2.
Yeah, he certainly does. Tier will be praying that Muhiti does get another warning, as that's an Aston Martin. Looks like he's had a spin at turn 3. That's a shame for the newbie, but manages to stay in P9 for the moment, and it's a decent showing from little Manny Man. Where did he start? He started 5 places down, so he started in P14.
Yeah, great showing from the Aston Martin. Good to see new drivers doing well. Scott Rowley, Mr. J-Man getting back past QB further back for P11, but QB just needs to stay within 6 seconds and he'll be P11 because of the penalty. Pommy Alex and Jamie F1 side by side again, but Pommy Alex goes far too deep and loses out yet again, and Tier gets himself another time penalty in the meantime, so he's now up to 15 seconds, although I don't actually think he's going to drop any more than behind Muhiti unless Hartmann really closes that gap in these last few laps.
Yeah, certainly so. We've only got 1 lap and a bit left to go of this Austrian Grand Prix, and it looks firmly in the hands of LB, especially since Jamie F1 is sat in front of that Ferrari right now, who will, as long as he finishes the race where he is, will get that P2 on the grid.
Certainly will. Onto the final lap we go. It's been imperious from LB ever since the safety car came out. It looks like he's going to win this race. It's a fantastic restart for him. Got out of that second range, which was crucial at the start, and then just sped away. That was all he needed to do. But Muhiti has fallen out that 1 second range of Tier, but of course in terms of the actual position it's not going to matter. I think it is going to be P4 for the Alfa Romeo, which is what a fantastic result it is for the Turkish driver.
Yeah, the best ever result was Hartmann leaves the session on the final lap. I think he may still get those points,
yes,
but this
he will.
could affect his final result. We'll wait and see as his AI car does go much slower. But we come down then to LB in the Red Bull, who is going to come across the line to win this race on the circuit. An incredible job from him. I'm losing my words. Jamie F1 crosses the line, but loses to Pommy Alex, the only driver who didn't get a penalty during this race. Well done to him, as Tier loses out to Muhiti over penalties as well. Muhiti, incredible job to get P4. That's a huge pat on the back for him, for sure. Hartman has lost a place to Femi Fussmaster, but I think penalties will see him
keep
P6. Yes, they will. As Captain Nibs comes across P8, the little Manny Man gets P8 off of Captain Nibs, so improves up another place. A great showing from
Mr. J-Man goes for another spin on the final lap. Sorry to interrupt you. So he's going to go down to P12. QB finishes P11. A solid drive for him.
20 lap old soft tyres on Mr. J-Man's car. Those tyres must be screaming.
They must be. I can't believe how he's gotten those to last so long. But that will be that for the Austrian Grand Prix. Absolutely.
Wow, it looks like a busy night for the stewards. Ghost, 6.
Yes.
Hartman's got about 6 reports.
Yeah.
Is that the incident of Hartman gets driver of the day? Well done to Hartman. But I think I hope you're ready, Jacko. We've got a busy night ahead of us.
This is going to be quite something. Clearly, my calls for clean racing before this race fell on some deaf ears. Well, I mean, no disrespect at all to the top sort of 5, I think. The top 5 were racing very well throughout. That's LB, Pommy Alex, Jamie F1, Muhiti and Tia. They were all fantastic throughout. And other names as well down the line. But, of course, there's going to be quite a few reports, I think, from this one, unfortunately.
Yeah, certainly so. Well, LB is your race winner this evening. He takes fastest lap to gain maximum points this evening, putting him nice and firmly ahead of JBS Steve, who unfortunately hasn't scored any points. Pommy Alex and Jamie F1 join him on the podium. A great drive from all 3 of them. Incredible stuff. Muhiti getting his highest finishing position ever. A great job from the Turkish driver, who is getting better and better as we go. Tia rounds off the top 5 then with ISRL Hartman and Femi Fussmaster in the Williams cars, doing a great job, being the highest placed team this evening. Little Manny Man on debut, getting a nice P8 result with Captain Nibs and QBV rounding off the top 10. Scott Rowley, Mr. J-Man and Madman Ollie Oliver round off the rest of the finishers, with Stingray, Yusuf and JBS Steve not finishing this race.
What do we think driver of the day, Sumo?
I'm going to give it to Muhiti. I think he's done a great job. He had a great job during qualifying, and did a great job to turn his qualifying result into a top 4 finish. And I think he's been getting better and better. He had a horrible season last time out in that Ferrari, and is proving himself to be quite a good little racer.
Absolutely, he's doing really well. So driver of the day for Muhiti, and but LB Imperious today, he extends his championship lead by quite a lot, and it's definitely going to require a DNF from him for anyone to catch him this season. Yeah,
certainly. So I think AlphaTauri have sadly threw away some good points this evening with JBS Steve's crash, and of course JBS Steve was tied on points with LB, who now takes the championship lead quite firmly in his hands. But he did have some challenge from the drivers behind him, but once he got that gap, he was able to get away in that clear air. Next week we're heading to Jeddah on the 7th of June. That may be reprimanded depending on what happens in the stewards room.
Yes.
We'll wait and see on the result for that. But there, of course, will be a race next week if we want. What am I saying? What do you mean if we want? I don't know what I'm on about anymore. But anyway, any last thoughts, Ghost?
I mean, well done to everyone who raced clean. You know who you are. And yeah, great race from a fair few drivers, and I hope it was an enjoyable one in those cockpits. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything more to say.
Alrighty then, well, as always, make sure you do go and check out all of our APPF1 affiliates and give them all the support you can, as we all, well, we all do this in our spare time, of course, and all the support is always appreciated. Make sure you go check out our sponsor, of course, Positive Perception Media Design Products. Their liveries for real-life cars and esports cars are always incredible to see. I always enjoy seeing them pop up on my social feeds, and if you want that to happen, then please do go follow them and give them all the support you can. Anyway, that's going to round us off for this evening then. We say goodbye to Austria for now, and goodbye to the month of May as we go into June. And we'll see you next time out for round 4 of the Tier 2 Championship. But for now, I have been Sumo.
I have been Ghost.
And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.